Yeah, and I think when we saw the surface, the groundsman obviously knew what both teams needed really, which a draw would secure it. So he produced a very flat wicket, which always made a draw favourite possibly, and then the weather helps intervene, and the game ends up petering out with both teams getting what they wanted really. Tense at times because they'd have been tense for them when they were 30 for 2 and the light wasn't great and it was a bit humid and the ball was going around corners, and then obviously they get through the next morning and it's dry wind and conditions change again and the wicket goes flat. Tense for us at 6 for 2, and you're watching events that unfold at Worcester. You're trying to be not distracted by that, and then obviously Sam Hain digs in with first of all Rhodesy, and then Barney, and you get to safer waters, and then everybody can really enjoy and relax on the last day of the season.
Yeah, a bit of a disjointed season for Sam for various reasons, but really pleasing to see him end on a high like that.
Yeah, like he's had a really difficult time. We know that he obviously had to miss the beginning of the season. Pulled out 2 days before the start. And that was probably the story of our season. It's who we've missed at different times, and for Sam, he missed a chunk and he comes back and then he gets concussed at short leg, doesn't he, on his first game back, and you miss him again for another chunk. Then a bit of one-day cricket. So hamstring injury he had in there as well. He misses some more cricket. So it's been a tough year for him, and he was feeling the pinch a little bit at the back end, and he'll be pleased that he takes a big score into the winter, which will do him good and sets him up again for the future.
And a word on Al Davis, first year as red ball captain. I guess there's always that thought in the back of your head, how's his batting going to weigh up when he's juggling both roles? But over 1,000 runs in the county championship this year. Yeah,
look, I mean, when obviously Will resigns and you're working out who should be the next captain, the leader, one of the question marks is what impact it might have on the player himself who takes the reins. And we did feel and we did hope that it would bring out the best in Daryl. We felt it did last year in the Blast. It brought out some of the best in him because maybe stops him thinking about his own game. Because you sort of lost in what other people need, and we definitely saw that. I think with him, I spoke to him last night. I've got lots of grey hairs, as you can see, and been in the game a long time. I've not had a season like this for setbacks in terms of personnel and things off the pitch, which sometimes you can talk about and sometimes you can't. And I said that to him last night. You won't have it as tough as this, or you shouldn't do. Things should be a little bit smoother in the future. And I think he stood up really well as a leader and as a captain, as you said, with his own performances, but how he's managed to galvanise and keep the group together. And I think we've shown a lot of resilience. It might not seem like that to be on the outside. Even in the Blast, we've missed players. We've hardly had an overseas really all year. And we've managed to keep punching. The quarter-final defeat knocked a lot of stuffing out of everybody, I think, the club as a whole and the players. And we've limped a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but we've shown enough resilience in this match to get where we want to be. And you want to be in Division 1. Look, we want to win Division 1, but if you can't win it, you've got to make sure you're in there next year to give yourself a chance of absolutely attacking it with the relish and excitement that we want to do.
It has been a bit of a paradox of a season, Mark, hasn't it? We've had 2 of only 7 batters to have topped 1,000 runs. Ollie again's been one of the top wicket takers this season. I think only Surrey have secured more bonus points than us, but only 1 win across the whole of the campaign. It must be quite frustrating.
Yeah, and I think we've played on some good wickets, like this one. So this will be a story of the summer, really, wasn't it? A good wicket and rain. You lose time to rain. Worcester, we might have won that game in the end. We were 70 ahead, weren't we? 4 down, 3 down. And we might have got in a position, we might have lost it, but the rain takes out the result. And that's been our story of our summer. Good wickets and rain interrupted games occasionally when you're on the back foot, and quite a few times like Old Trafford and Hampshire, etc., where you're on the front foot. So that's been the frustration. As I say, it allows batters to score runs, and Ollie's led our attack brilliantly as he always does for us, doesn't it? But we've had no continuity in our bowling attack at all, which has meant second innings has also been a bit more difficult when you are trying to force that result.
And just a final word for members and fans, Mark, if we can. It's been obviously impressive win rate again in the white ball, but obviously overall a disappointment in the red ball.
Well, it's disappointing because you want to win, you want to be up there competing. And I say when I came to the club, I think we'd won 1 4-day game in 2 years. I think we hadn't qualified for a number of years in the Blast. Now we're at a point where we're absolutely gutted that we're not getting a final stage. So we know we're going in the right direction in white ball cricket. There's room to grow still. look, we'll have a huge review at the end of the summer, as we do every summer, to try and look at how we get better, be it in white ball and red ball cricket. But from a championship point of view, we just need depth in our bowling. I'd say 4 years I've been here. The first year we keep our majority of our bowlers fit. We have Norwell and Wokes playing and Stoning. We win the championship. The second year, load of injuries, we battle. Last year, Rushy plays, stays fit majority of the time, etc. Hassan, bit of Wokesy again, and you're competing at one point, wondering whether we can win it. End up coming just pip for 4th place this year. Again, with no bowlers, and there you go. So we need some squad depth for our bowlers, and we've got to keep getting better. As I say, what staying in the division does, it allows you to get control of what you can control. What can we do to get better? Review properly, and then we've got to look to do how we get our recruitment spot on and give us that little bit more depth that we need. I suppose from my point of view, lastly, and it's from the dressing room, to thank all our supporters all year. It's a fantastic product, county cricket, from the blast to the 50 over to the championship cricket. And I think in an era where you can feel a bit marginalised as a traditional fan, county supporters put up with a lot, and we're very, very grateful to. We see them home and away, and their support's unwavering them. And not just to thank all our supporters, but all the supporters around the country, because as I say, it's a great product that I love and want to protect, and we want to thank them for their loyalty to not only to the Bears but to the game as a whole.